Welcome back to A Rock Bottom. Joining me now on the phone is Jeff Hoad from the band The Rich and the Famous. How you going, Jeff?
Hey, Nick, I'm doing really well. Up here on a cold, blustery night in Queensland with the board shorts on.
You should try some of this Victorian weather, mate.
I've been the coldest I've ever been in my life in Victoria one night.
That wasn't in Ballarat, was it?
No, it was actually right in the heart of St Kilda, and I was in a dingy hotel, and I had on a flannel shirt, a jumper, and a leather jacket, and I was in bed, and I was still cold.
I just want to start off by congratulating you on the EP. Take us to your leader, mate. I've had it for about a week now. I'm absolutely in love with this, mate. It's a great blast of rock and roll. You must be really proud of how it's come up.
I'm really proud of it, mate. It's exactly what you said. It's a blast of rock and roll because it came out of a bowl out of the blue. We haven't done anything for a while, and we did a birthday party so that they were getting to get together. So come and play at this birthday party. I went, all right, and then we sort of started rehearsing, and then all of a sudden these songs just started coming out, and then we decided to make it an EP, and it's just turned out fantastic, and it's high energy, it's in your face, and that's how we wanted it, you know.
Oh, it's great. I love it, mate.
I think it was just a lot of, like a couple of years off, pent-up emotions all came out in one big blast.
Yeah, now, during that break, mate, were you still making music or just pursuing other things?
Oh, well, I had a bucket list of having children and stuff like that, which I'd put off for so long, like being in the band for so long and chasing my dreams, that I thought, hang on a minute, I haven't had kids yet. That's what I knew of, anyway. I had two beautiful children, and then I decided to get back into music and stuff, and because that's always been my calling, and just what brought it out was this party, and then it exploded from there. And now we've got videos in the works, and we've got our website, and it's a great time to be doing music because you can actually do it on your own terms now. You know, with social media and everything, you don't have to be connected to a record company, and you can present yourself how you want to present yourself, and find audiences like yourself all over the world.
Yeah. Now, I just want to allude to your past a bit there, mate, because you touched on how things had changed with social media. Now, of course, many of our listeners remember you from the Kings of the Sun.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you cope with, I suppose, the challenges of marketing your music now as opposed to when the Kings of the Sun were around?
It was very different back then because we got signed to a major record company in America, Up There Records, and it's like, although the roller coaster ride went right up, you know, we got dragged out of Australia and we want to sign you guys, and next thing you know, we were riding around in limos and driving to these fantastic studios and working with luminaries like Eddie Kramer, our album, who's produced everyone from the Stones to Zeppelin to Hendrix, and we were recording the best studios in the world. And at the same time, it was a very strange thing because we did an album, the first album we ever did, we put out 2 singles, which was Serpentine and Black Leather. And then it was like, okay, and they were received really well. Okay, now go away and do another album. Because they'd never seen us play live, they didn't know we could play live. So when we played one of their end of the year functions, and they saw us play, they went, get these guys out on the road. So because they'd never really seen us play, and once they saw us play live, they put us on the KISS tour in Europe, and the whole thing was like, they were basically going to say, okay, you've had your 2 singles off this album, now go away and write another one.
Yeah.
So that's the way it worked back then. It's like they didn't want to put too many eggs in one basket, and then you go around, you wait another year for your second album, and we couldn't believe the time frames of everything. You know, the waiting, make a record, then you wait. We're not putting it out yet. We're going to make another couple of months. It's like the difference now is you make music. You can put it out in your own terms and get it out there straight away. Yeah.
Now what about actually promoting it? Because I was going to touch to the fact that I first saw you guys, the Kings of the Sun, on Countdown. Your song was Bottom of the Heart, and you connected. You probably played in every lounge room in Australia that Sunday night, and I know that I went out and bought the record the very next day. You don't have that immediacy or that large audience, so I'm trying to get a bit of a picture from you of how you sort of, reach a larger audience.
Well, that was a very memorable moment because I met Kylie Minogue and the whole entire cast of Neighbours at the time, because that was a very, very big show, because we had Kylie, we had Jason, and we had Guy Pearce on the show, actually hosting the show that night, so it was a pretty funny night. But As you said, everyone gets to see it. That was when Molly Melbourne was king. And then I think record companies have lost their mojo a bit now because these other things like The Voice now are taking over, and it's become a whole different way of marketing a band. And there's all these different genres of music. Like I'm a death metal guy, or I'm a this sort of guy. And people find the music they like, and there's just all these different things like Spotify and independent radio stations like yourself, where people can find the music that they like, and they're not being dictated to. Of course, there always will be people who just go, this is where I get my music from. I turn on the radio. I don't care if I hear bad, good, or whatever. But some people like to find new bands and go out looking for them and get on YouTube and whatever. And that's the beauty of it. You can actually find an audience for yourself. It's different. Instead of like being up there, okay, you get massive exposure in one night, just like The Voice or just like, America's Got Talent or whatever. But if you get true fans that stay with you forever, I think the way you do it now.
Bring it back up to modern day, because I know you want to talk about the new music, mate. I just want to talk about the band you've got at the moment. Can you tell us about the other two guys in the band and what their backgrounds are, mate?
Well, Dean Kelly, the bass player, has been with us. He actually played in the last configuration of Kings of the Sun.
Yeah.
And then we started up the Rich and Famous with my brother and I and Dean. And then my brother and I parted ways. He's gone on to do Kings of the Sun, and I've taken the Rich and Famous, which is the band that we actually stopped Kings of the Sun and started the Rich and Famous up. And then we parted ways after being too long in the studio and in our own company forever.
Mm-hmm.
Gone that way, and I've gone my way. And we've got a new drummer called Dean Reeson, who I've known for years, and Dean, the bass player's known for years, and we got him in, and he just fits in perfectly. And so it's a three-piece band. And Kings of the Sun was a three-piece band. Our last album was a three-piece.
Yeah.
So I was no stranger to that. So it just worked out really well.
Yeah. Now, what was the genesis of you, I suppose, because you were initially in the Rich and Famous with your brother Clifford.
Yep.
Yeah. What was it made you go that direction, change the name of the band and everything, rather than continue on with Kings of the Sun, saying that you and Cliff were really the heart of that band?
Well, I think the whole thing about that was we lost our record company support on our last album, which was the Resurrection, because grunge hit. And we were considered, even though we weren't a glam, they called it glam rock, Guns N' Roses, that whole era, bands and stuff. We never really were that. If you ever go back and look at the videos, we were more of an Australian rock band. But they just dropped every rock band from the 80s into this new grunge thing, right? And then after grunge, I don't think you were allowed to have a guitar on a record for about 10 years after that.
Yeah.
And then rock sort of came back. We came back with the Rich and Famous in about 2000. And I've been sort of, we did three previous albums to this one. And we've had a bit of a hiatus, as I said. And this is the new one. But the reason being, rock sort of wasn't the flavour of the month. And we changed it to Rich and Famous because it gave us a bit more of a, not because every time you can't hide from who you are or who your past is. Everything you put out, you say, oh, he was in this band, this is his new band. So I suppose it was more of a freeing up of a direction change for us and enabled us to go, okay, we're not going down that road, we can go in any direction we want to. And even though it's still very much the same flavour, you know.
You've been a musician for such a long time now, mate. I think it was the Young Lions you started off in way back when.
You've done your homework, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, look...
1981.
I did interview Bob Spencer a couple of years ago, and we had a bit of a chat about the Young Lions.
If anyone ever saw the Young Lions, they were never forgotten at home.
Oh, no, that was a great band. I did see them once.
Where did you see it?
That was in Melbourne. I can't remember the nightclub, but I don't even think the nightclub exists.
It was a very strange band, wasn't it? It was very unique, it was very theatrical. We even had clothing changes on stage. I remember taking like three outfits to the gig, and it was a really strange band. They got kind of like split ends rock.
I've got to say, Jeff, every band I've seen you in, mate, you always put on a great rock and roll show regardless.
There's always a trying to turn me in cheek, but the entertainment aspect of it, you know, I've never really, we've always sort of like wanted to be entertaining, that's the thing. Because I think that's the roots of rock and roll. You think that you go back to Elvis, Little Richard, and Jerry Lee Lewis,
Yeah.
David Diddley, and all those guys, they each had their own flavour, but they were always entertaining, and it was almost like, if you think about those guys, people were shocked by what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because it was just entertainment, and it was always entertaining. There was no staring at shoes. There was no, mood pieces. It was always just like, here's energy, here's rock. This guy, Jerry Lee Lewis with his piano, mad piano playing, jumping on the piano. Little Richard with crazy-looking wigs, and so just everything was about that back then. I think if you lose that aspect of rock, you've lost what rock's about.
Yeah, look, do you remember what it was that actually got you hooked on rock and roll in the first place as a really young man, even before you started playing music yourself?
Creedence.
Creedence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival. We lived for a time, my parents owned a pub outside of Toowoomba for about 3 years in the late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And we only had a few records. We could only get black and white TV, and we had a few records, and one of them was Creedence Clearwater Revival, Cosmo's Factory. And I also had the Jackson 5 too.
Really?
I had about 3 or 4 vinyl albums, but Creedence was the one that was I just loved the sound of that music, you know.
I love asking that question to people who've been around a while. I always get surprised.
I actually saw Jackson 5 in Brisbane Festival Hall in the late 70s, like 72, 73.
Yeah.
When they came out here, I saw them then. And then I loved punk when punk came out. And when I first started playing, it was probably just after the Sex Pistols thing. I loved the Sex Pistols, and I got into Ramones. And my first show I played a short set with my brother's band at the time to sort of put me on as a bit of a spot. And I did a Ramones medley.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first introduction to the stage, first time ever on stage.
Oh, that's gold, mate. Now, what is it that keeps you inspired to keep doing what you do? You know, what keeps you forging forward?
Well, at that time that I had off, I suppose it's almost like you compartmentalise things and you go, and you push it to the side. But always, I was over in the day, I was hearing music when the wipers were going like that in my head, but I didn't really know. I sort of put away songwriting for a while, and then when we did this rehearsal for the birthday, I immediately went bang straight back in. I started hearing these songs and writing these songs. So I'm always listening to music, all kinds of music. And I don't think people give it enough credence with some good word credence, but I don't give it enough respect out here because everyone listens to music every day.
Yeah.
And there's bands struggling in rooms and there's trying to write songs or whatever. It's all around us. Got guys on work sites, people in offices, they're always listening to music, driving to work with the radio on. Where does it come from? It doesn't come from the voice. It comes from people starting out with a dream,
Mm-hmm.
guys getting in a room, hating each other, loving it, or whatever it is, and fighting away, and then sometimes it breaks through, and that's what the music that is on the radio to this day, most of the people started from that point.
Now, back to the EP. I just want to talk about the cover art there, mate, with these little tadpoles floating around. Whose concept was that?
Well, it was actually implanted. It was an implant from reptilian aliens. See, they're taking over. This is part of the new concept on the album, Being the Rich and Famous. If anyone watches anything on social media or YouTube, the reptilians are taking over the world. They're living amongst us now, and they are the rich and famous. You know, they're the elite.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was, basically, I've known this for years because we're one of them. So they take me over, and the first track off the EP is "Take Us to Your Leader."
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. It's this whole reptilian concept about aliens taking over our world, and these aliens love to rock.
And I suppose what the video you're working on at the moment is going to follow a similar theme, is it?
Yeah, we've got a guy in the States with, ironically, it's amazing. I found him on the internet, and he's doing a full CGI video of the first track, and absolutely. So the first draft of it is just incredible. It's like it's full CGI. It's amazing. It's like aliens, reptilians, morphing, shape-shifting, and we came from outer space to eat the human race. That's what the chorus goes in the song. If you haven't heard it, but it's fabulous.
Now, as far as the release as a whole, what are your hopes for this release? You know, you're hoping it's going to kick on to raise the profile, or is it just something you're putting out there because it's in your system, you've got to get out?
Just world domination, that's all.
Well, look, that sounds like there's been a pretty constant goal.
World domination, that's all. It's different terms, that's all.
Fantastic. Now, look, you both...
Doesn't everyone who starts a band up want that?
Oh, you should never lower the bar, Jeff.
Why even do it?
I like the attitude, man. Now, look, you're based on the Gold Coast. I'm just wondering what the scene for rock and roll's like up that part of the country.
Well, I imagine it's nowhere near as good as it is down in Victoria, because Victoria is the hub of rock and roll in Australia, I think, because every time, most of the fans that still follow us in Kings of the Sundays, all the stuff I get written to me or whatever, it's always, they're the most loyal fans, and I don't know what it is about the Gold Coast. It's a bit like Las Vegas, I think, but without Elvis.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a culture of a community.
Yeah.
They're trying really hard to get it happening, and it used to be the player room and all these great venues, because everyone would come up to the Gold Coast and it'd be like a wonderland. But it's all been shut down, and the pub scene's gone, the club scene's gone. There's not much here, but there's a few things opening up now up here. There's like these big open-air market things, and they're getting some big gigs happening again. And the Gold Coast was a fantastic place for rock and roll. There was Johnny O'Keefe at the playrooms and things like that. It was a huge rock and roll mecca, but they closed all the clubs down. They've lost the essence of what it's all about. It used to be beer gardens and pubs and clubs outside, but I think it's just money. People with big business not knowing what the people really want.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing as far as gigs go? Are you going to do the East Coast, or are you just concentrating up your end, or? At
this stage, I've said this before, I have no intentions of hopping in a Taraga and driving 6,000 kilometres to play 150 people. So long ago. It's $1 million or a million likes.
Yeah.
So start liking it. When the video comes out, start liking it.
Oh, we'll do our bit from this end, Jeff.
I'm thinking about doing some podcasts and live podcasts and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Even just the stuff of rehearsal and things. I want to take it in a different direction, because, as I said, not everyone gets out to live gigs anymore, because it's been lost a bit. And there are other ways to do it, and that's what we're looking into that. We're looking into, perhaps just a way of people seeing us and seeing bands in a different light, seeing a rehearsal filmed and whatever, live or whatever, and seeing how bands work. And so this is some of the ideas I'm thinking about. And, everyone can do the glam video, which we're doing anyway, but I wanted to try and venture into that avenue as well, as trying to show some different stuff. Because you never know what people like, it's amazing to see what people like on social media, YouTube and stuff like that. There's guys playing gaming, and people aren't even playing, they're just watching someone else play, and they like to watch it. You don't know what people like to watch. So I think a podcast of a live rehearsal of a band, discovering and working on a song and just seeing how it's done is a really good venture. That's something that I've been thinking about doing. Yeah,
look, for a natural performer like yourself, I mean, you obviously love performing, you must miss that aspect of being in front of an audience.
Well, we did a couple of shows about probably a year and a half back. We actually did a Kings of the Sun sort of 3-song thing of a part of a tour up here.
Yeah.
Which 3 songs was great, because I got off real quick. I didn't have to go jogging for 3 weeks before I went up there, but it was really good, and we had great sound, great roadies, great light, and everything was on. So it's always nice when it's easy, and I think that's what the whole festival thing's about. These 25,000 bands, and great production. Everyone gets a fair go, But I always feel like with festivals at times, is it really the music that they're there for? Because I've been to a few festivals and it's like, everyone's just walking around teetering, and there's bands playing in the background. I like a more intimate thing.
Yeah. No worries, mate. Now, we've got, as far as people being able to purchase your music, hear your music, I know you've got the website, therichandfamous.com.
Yep.
What other platforms can people find your music on, mate?
On just about everything, iTunes, Amazon, all the big ones. Spotify. You can just download it or whatever, or you can actually go to the website and you can get a hard copy of it if you want a Virgin CD, Virgin vinyl CD. We're not stuck doing cassettes, Mick.
All that stuff's coming back, mate.
We'll break out the ad tracks in a minute.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's all there. Go to the website or just you can go to iTunes, as I said, or all the normal platforms and just download it, or you can come to the site and get a hard copy. I think there's other ways you can get a hard copy as well, but I'm not really sure what they are.
Okay, Jeff, look, I want to thank you very much. I've had a lot of fun chatting tonight, mate.
Thank you too, Nick, and I'm very glad to see you're a long-term fan.
Oh, yeah, look, I go back.
You saw a very strange and very different band.
I've seen the journey, mate, and I'm really glad to have you back making music.
Thank you very much, mate. I'm glad to be back.